The chapter on decision is one that has so many great examples of decisions that completely changed the world. But one in particular that really stood out to me is how today we celebrate July 4th, 1776 as the birth of our nation. But in all reality, that fight started 6 years in advance with a decision made by two men that were no longer going to tolerate the way that things were being done. And they said, you know what, let's make a decision to get all the British troops out of Boston. And that decision led to many, many other events that led to where the nation is today. But the thing that stood out as the biggest highlight of the chapter is how, once again, as in other chapters, it comes back to definiteness of purpose. And in this case, these two men, Sam Adams and John Hancock, had a definite purpose that they were going to get these clowns out of town, and that's all that mattered. So when things got tough and when people were having fear and doubt and their lives were on the line, and 6 years later they were all in a room and had to sign a Declaration of Independence to get Britain, England, the king out of the country, it was all back to the definiteness of purpose. The two men decided to run the British soldiers out of Boston. I think the lesson here is if you have a clearly defined, definite purpose and you have some passion to go with it, it's going to make all the difference when big decisions come down to the wire, as it did in the founding of this country. And I think it's a shame that our history doesn't teach who the true founders of the country were, and this moment in history is neglected.